Shifting focus to the tensions in West Asia, they continue to remain high while the US refrained from conducting fresh attacks on Iran on Thursday. Iran launched a fierce retaliatory strike on a key American base in Kuwait. Amid this, Trump chairing a cabinet meeting at Camp David. On Iran's radar was the airbase in Kuwait. In fact, the IRGC claimed to have launched drone strikes targeting fighter aircraft shelters, satellite communication systems, equipment storage facilities at the site. And while CENTCOM has yet to react to the claim, Kuwait's defense ministry stated that it destroyed Iranian drones targeting vital facilities. It attributed the damage to falling shrapnel while asserting that no casualties were recorded. According to the IRGC, this attack came in response to America's strikes on a residential home in Kefm Island, located in the strategic Strait of Hormuz. On its part, CENTCOM claimed to have hit dozens of IRGC targets in Iran, including military command centers, missiles, drone facilities. Iran has also announced that it had struck 2 tankers attempting to pass through the Strait of Hormuz under the air escort of the US military. While it also claimed that these tankers were brought to a halt, 4 other tankers reportedly turned around and returned to their previous positions. Amid the ongoing deadlock over the negotiations with Iran, an NBC News report hinted that US President Donald Trump is getting frustrated with the disagreements reportedly among his top military advisors. According to the report, Trump's frustration stemming from a lack of a clear strategy on how to actually handle the war. While the report claimed that Trump erupted in anger during a recent national security meeting and even shouted expletives at his advisors, the White House press secretary, meanwhile, denied this. Now, with Yemen's Iran-backed Houthis joining the hostilities, Saudi Arabia and 13 other countries have come together to form a maritime defense alliance to secure navigation around the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, which caters to nearly 7%, catering to nearly 7% of global crude oil trade. After announcing a maritime embargo of Saudi Arabia last week, it struck vessels of the country reportedly trying to transit the Red Sea. The alliance, comprising countries like Pakistan, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, resolved to protect shared maritime interests in Bab el-Mandeb, Red Sea, and the Gulf of Aden. That's not all. According to reports, Saudi Arabia is also preparing for a major military offensive against the Houthis by sea and by land in central Yemen. These are crucial developments. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia and America's joint strikes against Iran-backed paramilitary groups on Iraq's soil early this week, continuing to provoke outrage and reactions. While Trump claimed that the strikes were coordinated with the Iraqi government, Baghdad reportedly refuted having any prior knowledge of the attack. At least 20 members of Iraq's Popular Mobilization Forces, remember, were killed. 32 others were injured in those strikes. But the attacks in Iran continued. Earlier in the day, 2 drones hit a building in northern Iraq, allegedly associated with an Iranian Kurdistan organization. Fire and heavy plumes of smoke engulfed the building. In another development, IRGC released photographs of Jordan's airbase showing the extent of damage to American assets. A day earlier, it also claimed to have destroyed 3 American F-35 jets, damaged 3 others, and killed several U.S. military personnel, allegedly, in a missile attack on this base, it claimed. However, CENTCOM flatly denied the claim. And as the war and the hostilities continue, the tensions continuing, Indians also paying a heavy price. A day earlier, the Indian government revealed that 16 Indian nationals, including 10 seafarers, have lost their lives in West Asia since the war started in February. Additionally, 75 Indians have been injured as well. After Iran's retaliatory strikes, will there be a lull in attacks for another night is the question, or will the tit-for-tat strikes resume as the crisis extends to multiple fronts, West Asia continuing to remain on edge? The fear of a Russian invasion continues to loom large on Germany's mind, as all transport routes to NATO's eastern and southeastern flanks passes through German territory. It has a vital role in a potential conflict. But the immediate threat is not from Putin, but from within, it seems. The concern emanating from the growing rise of Alternative for Germany, AfD, which was classified as a far-right extremist group by Germany's domestic intelligence agency last year. Now, it's come under the lens for allegedly opposing EU sanctions on Russia and called for restoring imports of Russian oil and gas to bolster the country's economy. While it's not in power in any of Germany's 16 states as of now, this could change soon. And here's the context. Saddled with record low approval ratings, the German Chancellor is reportedly concerned that the AfD can potentially form its government in 2 states for the first time ever. These states will go to the polls in September this year. Elections scheduled in September this year, but why is a prospective AfD victory also being looked at as a national security issue? Let's break this down. For that, take a look at this map. Due to its geostrategic location in the center of Europe, Germany basically is the main transit point for troops, tanks, missiles from NATO allies towards the border with Russia. And if we look at the states in question, they are located on the eastern side of the country, where troops are likely to pass through. According to reports, the Chancellor fears that AfD could obstruct NATO movement if it gains control of these states. But then what can AfD potentially do as well? States in Germany have multiple powers, including control over internal security and policing. So if a conflict with Russia does break out, the concern is that an AfD government could reportedly slow down troop and equipment movements via bureaucratic red tapeism, perhaps, or delay deployment of police forces, and refuse to give military priority on the roads, maybe. For instance, heavy military transport requires permit from the state authorities. Now, this has spurred the Chancellor to reportedly draw up secret plans to prevent such a scenario. What does it involve? Basically, mechanisms to override the state government's decision-making powers in the event of a crisis, as well as protecting key officials and infrastructure in the neighboring states. So while Germany has laws to streamline military logistics in a national security crisis, the parliament first needs to declare a state of tension, for which a 2/3 majority is required. That's the process. Now, the coalition led by Merz's party lacks the numbers at present. Earlier this month, Germany's government also hinted at taking another adverse measure to bypass the AfD in a way. Speaking to the media, the German defense minister stated that he is in favor of excluding potential AfD ministers in state administrations from being included in crucial intelligence briefings. And he defended that stance by citing the party's alleged close ties with Putin. With growing internal divisions within Germany, all eyes will be on AfD's performance in the upcoming state elections. It's going to be very crucial. They could potentially shape the approach towards Russia. US President Donald Trump has announced a historic agreement for the complete disarmament of Hamas, calling it a critical step towards establishing a new governing authority in Gaza. Hamas and the board of Peace later confirmed the announcement, and reports indicated that mediators and Hamas leaders have reached that proposed framework in Cairo. According to sources reportedly close to the talks, the proposal outlining provisions for dismantling the group's weapons and a gradual withdrawal of the Israeli forces from Gaza. But Israeli media reports say that Israel is not fully on board yet, insisting that there will be no Israeli withdrawal from the Yellow Line before Gaza Strip is fully demilitarized. Now, diplomatic sources reportedly had earlier indicated that while significant progress was made during the talks in Cairo, it remains uncertain whether the agreement will hold, as Israeli officials have expressed strong dissatisfaction with several key terms. A senior member of the Hamas negotiating team said the group expects international mediators and the Board of Peace to guarantee Israel's full compliance with the proposed terms. Under this framework, the Palestinian Technocratic Committee, established by the Board of Peace to govern Gaza, would oversee the storage and decommissioning of Hamas's weapons. Announcing the development on Truth Social, President Trump said that disarmament would take place across carefully structured phases. And he added that following the disarmament process, Israeli forces would withdraw, clearing the way for an international stabilization force to work alongside a new Palestinian police force to ensure Gaza's security. He also thanked mediators from Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey. Hamas, responding to the agreement, also said that any handover of its heavy weapons would be conditional on Israel ending its military offensive and withdrawing its forces from Gaza. The group maintained that the first step towards implementing any agreement must be Israel's commitment to halt its military operations, stop the killing, and ensure a complete cessation of hostilities. And the issue of Hamas's disarmament has remained the primary sticking point, remember, in advancing the broader ceasefire deal that has been in place between Israel and Hamas in Gaza since October. And despite that ceasefire, violence continued to flare in the enclave, with recent Israeli strikes killing at least 6 people, including 2 children, on Thursday itself. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.